Willkommen zu einer neuen Episode von Maikes Raumzeit. Schön sind Sie wieder dabei. Künstliche Intelligenz ist längst mehr als ein Werkzeug, das Fragen beantwortet. Immer häufiger geht es um Systeme, die eigenständig handeln, Prozesse anstoßen und im Namen von Unternehmen Entscheidungen vorbereiten oder ausführen. Damit rücken neue Fragen in den Mittelpunkt. Wie entsteht Vertrauen in KI? Welche Verantwortung tragen Anbieter, Unternehmen und Menschen, die solche Systeme einsetzen? Und warum sind Sicherheit, Governance und Transparenz heute nicht mehr nur rechtliche Pflicht, sondern Teil des eigentlichen Produktwertes? Darüber spreche ich in dieser Folge mit Shana Simmons, Chief Legal Officer bei Zendesk, und Pam Couch, Director of Product Legal bei Zendesk. Wir diskutieren, weshalb Vertrauen zur zentralen Voraussetzung für KI-Adoption wird, warum Legal und Security früh in die Produktentwicklung eingebunden sein müssen und weshalb Verantwortung im KI-Zeitalter nicht in Verträgen gelöst werden kann. Da meine beiden Gesprächspartnerinnen Englisch sprechen, wechseln wir nun auf Englisch. And then my first question would be actually to start. Could you briefly introduce yourself and share what your responsibilities and what you do?
I am Pam Couch. I am a director product legal on Shana's team. So my team focuses on responsible and efficient product legal reviews and analysis and IP issues, as well as tech partnerships.
I'm Shana Simmons. I'm the Chief Legal Officer at Zendesk. I've been at Zendesk for a little over 2 years now, but this is my third relate, so it's fantastic. My team obviously oversees all of the legal requirements um, for all of our stakeholders, right? We think about our customers first. We think about the regulators, our employees, um, our investors, our owners, etc. Also, we think about compliance, and so how do we embed compliance into the culture of Zendesk, and not just a check the box exercise, but really a principles based. And strangely, I'm also the executive that owns physical safety. So the physical safety guys here, they report to me, which is really cool. When I'm at one of their offsites, they're all usually former military, and I'm like, so yes, I also own physical safety.
Okay, perfect. So, as Chief Legal Officer, you sit in the intersection of innovation,
Yes.
one side risk, governance, and trust. How does your role change when AI now moves from answering questions to taking action on behalf?
So I don't think
Co-
my role changed. When I think about the mission for my department, and it's almost like I repeat, this is my second time being a GC. The first time was at a legal tech company. I've said the mission of the department is to facilitate growth while mitigating risk,
Mhm.
right? And when you think about that facilitating growth piece, it is with the customer at the core. If we're not building a product that meets our customers' needs, not just is it good, does it deliver the resolutions, but if we're selling into healthcare, we're selling to someone to Denmark, anywhere, we need to build what they need also for their regulators. And so that is why it is our job to facilitate growth. It's very easy to say my job is just to eliminate risk. That's easy. I could say no, yes, maybe. But if we and all of us have it in us is to facilitate growth, we're in the building process earlier.
Mhm.
We're in the sales process earlier. We're with the regulators earlier as well. And I'd say that nothing has changed from that standpoint.
Mhm. You said before recently that the biggest limit to AI adoption is not the capability, but the confidence as well.
Oh, yeah.
And from your perspective, what does that actually mean and what actually creates this confidence?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. So one, I am not a psychologist, but I think I'm going to speak a little bit from the psychology of things, and then I want to talk about the legal and the product, right? But from a psychology, I find even as humans, we're most scared of what we don't know and who we don't know. And it's strange and it's sad that it kind of separates us sometimes,
Mhm.
that fear. The more we're around other people from other places, around other things, the more confident we become in that. So I would say that it's also the use of AI and understanding the AI. What I think is different from this time around, and you've been studying this for a while from now, is unlike on-prem to cloud, where only a few folks had to think about within any organization, right? It was the CIO,
Yeah.
the chief product officer, the lawyers who were building cloud, and I was at Google Cloud when we were building it. Now all of us are thinking about AI because I can use ChatGPT on my phone, I can use Claude on my phone, I can use Gemini on my phone.
Yeah.
So all of us are thinking about that. So I think with that facility and that use of going where I see where more people were from being daily active users to builders now. So they have these citizen developers, and I could tell you about my lawyers who think they're builders too, but these daily active users to builders, there's more facilities. I think there's more confidence. And so that's that use. Next, it's the confidence that you have in who you're partnering with. How are they talking about governance? How are they talking about trust? What are their enterprise terms of service say? We have a Zendesk customer agreement. It is plain English. How do I know? I helped write it myself. Really? I did. Pam could tell you. I did. I helped write it myself. Why was it important for me to be involved at that level? Was because I wanted it to be in plain English and then translated it plainly in every other language so anybody could pick it up and understand what our commitments are. Right? So what are our commitments, and then how have we built that into the product? And so I get that is that confidence, and what are their commitments? What do they say to you? What are they willing to say to you in writing? But also, what happens when things go wrong? Can you get in touch with them? Are you stuck behind? And Vinay has built, who you saw on stage, I don't know if you'll get to talk. He has more than 100-person people on his team. They're thinking about this daily. They're thinking about how to react to customer problems or to security problems or to spam, etc. And so I think that's where we get to the confidence.
The understanding.
The understanding.
Getting to know.
Yes.
Customers increasingly see as well the trust, security, compliance, governance as part of let's say, a product value proposition on top.
That's what they're seeing now. It's the number one.
How does that change the mandate of a legal department in the technology company? Or does it?
I wish, okay, I can say this two ways. I'm going to give you two answers. Okay, that's okay. One, it makes us more popular in the company finally, right? Like, I'm out there, I'm on stage, I'm meeting with you. It makes us more popular, and I go around and I get to tell the employees, we got to have swagger. I get to say things. So I also get to be really part of building the culture and the right culture from the very beginning with the employees so that this concept of trust is built in. Because when we think about physical safety, going back to it, when I was at Google for years, we had the sign that like no tailgating. So you will always check, like, I can't let someone into the office without checking their badge. Now with AI, all of us need to be thinking about it in our use of the products and how we build the products. What do we use? This was like open source back in the day. I don't know if you remember, but no one was allowed to use open source until they figured out, okay, it's okay unless it's viral open source. So it allows us and me to really have that imprint on the culture. But I would also say that because we at Zendesk have been built from privacy principles from the very beginning, we were founded in Europe, right? And privacy was super important, that nothing changes. So in a way, I become more popular, but in how we build, nothing changes because a lot of good enterprise companies have been doing AI governance and privacy for a very long time. Because at the end of the day, we have to protect what's important to the customer. And that's their data. And we have built that, privacy and security by design, control, transparency, accountability, customer feedback. We've built that in. So I think nothing changes in that way.
You just mentioned that it needs to be part of the culture, but you said as well legal or the governance and security needs to be embedded within the product cycle right from the very beginning. What does it look like in practice then, and how does it involvement actually at the end of the day help to build maybe faster or safer products?
I manage our product legal team. So our team is thinking about this all the time. And I think there are a few things. One is what Shana said. There's a culture where every single product manager and engineer already knows these core principles. So when they're drafting their docs, they are thinking, what guardrails do we need? How is the data protected? And how are we going to be able to face a customer and explain to them how they're going to be able to adopt this, right? Because customers are not going to buy something that they're not comfortable with. So they're already thinking about that. On top of that, myself and members of Vinay's security team, we are in the room early. In fact, we are part of the strategizing. A lot of times they want to bounce ideas off of me before they even get anything ready because they want to make sure that what they're doing makes sense from a trust perspective.
We have also given input on the product. Like that's how it, and like I give two examples of like one was HIPAA that we've done there, but the SIPA one recently.
Oh yeah, so we as Zendesk care about making sure our customers are compliant. When they get hit with something,
Yeah.
that is directly impacting us, even if, and so we want to sort of guide them in the right direction. So we implemented a default setting to basically prompt them to include their privacy notice. And we just are always looking out.
We're always thinking,
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. We're much cooler and popular these days, but nothing changes.
Yeah.
They finally just realize.
And we had a whole engineering team working on this there. It like was, kind of like legal. But
And it was pretty incredible because it's one of the examples that I was able to share with our board's audit committee. And it was the first time like I can also say like now legal is tied to the value of the product and what we build.
And we heard it before as well. The product team captured the challenges clearly. They said demo agents are easy. What's hard to scale is now safety and consistency. From the legal and government's perspective, what makes scaling AI agents so different from just launching different, let's say, traditional software features?
I think with agentic AI, right? Because you talked about it, I think you were right. It's now autonomous, right? And so customers are now buying for that trust. And I talked about that a little bit earlier in my presentation from the very beginning. And that's we have to think about it because we are no longer, and Sashi talked about it, we are no longer building bespoke software that's just ours. We are also using some of the powerful frontier models, right? And so what commitments are we getting from our vendors, all right? What commitments are we getting from Anthropic? What commitments are we getting from OpenAI? What commitments are we getting from Google? And so it allows us to evaluate AWS, our standing as a vendor with these as well. This whole system, but then also to figure out as a vendor to our customers, how are they able to connect and use us securely? So an example, so I think using AI aggressively in ways that are irresponsible will actually slow down progress, right? I think using it responsibly will speed it up. But an example of this now, we've just launched it where we are observing more of the third party use of the third party partners that our customers using so that when we see a problem that originates from that partner, we can shut it down immediately, right? And so it's no longer about us, but where we stand in the interconnectedness of the system.
That's the key, a good word in saying this interconnecting. You mentioned before we were talking about the MCP servers and clients or APIs. We had that topic in the conversation before. Can they help to standardize the access to tools and data across the systems? Or can it also concretate risk or increase risk? Or what guardrails?
I think
essential at this point?
I think that what you said is the answer. It is the answer. It can be both. Both are true.
Yeah.
And so it is about, do you have the controls in place internally? Does your partner, does your vendor have those controls? Do they have a good terms of service? Do they have the observability?
Yeah.
Are they watching it? Can they shut it down? Can they partner with you should there be an issue? And then how prescriptive and how helpful are your vendors are with, you have to think, we serve mom and shop pops to Fortune 100 customers. And so we need to be able to also be a thought leader on this to bring some folks along.
Yeah.
And as well to help orchestrate what that web of AI and autonomous agents would look like for you.
Do trust, security, and governance requirements differ from AI in a customer service help desk environment or an AI in the enterprise contact center solution? Because we were talking about that before as well. And can you talk a bit more about that as well?
The environment stays the same based on the impact and the influence, right? Based on the risk. The environment is pretty much the same, I'd argue.
You mean the difference between like support,
Yeah.
digital support versus contact center?
No, I talk about we were mentioning before the contact center, the enterprise solution, and before the help desk service, customer service solution. I mean, when you scale it, when it's bigger enterprises and solutions and platforms, does that change anything from your perspective, from legal governance perspective?
You mean so like the frontier models versus the no. we all have to make the same
Yeah.
commitments to each other. Like I am in constant conversations with the CLO of Anthropic, the
Yep.
CEO, the GC of OpenAI, right? I want to be as cutting edge with them
Yeah.
as they are. I am meeting with industry leaders all the time with the BSA
Yeah.
to make sure that I can't fall behind. The reason is my customers know what Anthropic is offering them.
Mm-hmm.
They know what OpenAI is offering them. So they have high expectations. What I should, quite frankly, we should be able to do more when we can. And we should be able, because we know customer support best. And so we should be able. So I don't think there is a difference. If anything, we should be able to
Yeah.
do more.
Yeah. And from customers' perspective, enterprise level, they increasingly ask for transparency. That's all the topics we had before as well. Explainability, auditability. What level of visibility should customers have actually into how AI agents are trained, how they work, how visible is it for them?
I think right now, as people are getting comfortable, as we talked about, and they're building that confidence around the enterprise, right? Like we're all building it. That trend, that idea of transparency is key.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know when you're using AI. This next step, I think, by the way, in a year from now, I think next year, hopefully you come again. But it's still for certain jobs and for certain things that we do, explainability is going to
Yeah.
be important. Just like an intern. I think the explainability of AI is going to be better than some humans, quite frankly, because how did you get this answer? Where did you get this answer from? But I think it is still so critical because you're able to point me to exactly where and when
Yeah.
you got the information
Yeah.
and how did you
Yeah.
come and what was deterministic about it, which I don't know I can do if someone asked me a question. So this,
Like, I don't know. I think Pam told me to say that. I mean, we need to be honest about ourselves.
we do get to be honest, because on ourselves, our own capability. Yes.
I want to change a bit the perspective. We heard and people are talking about the efficiency side using AI and the free time, let's say now, or the time that corporate employees get free time. No, but that's what I'm saying. But if this free or safe time becomes more and more just work assigned to employees, the human impact can be problematic for the human. And we heard Tom talking as well about the potential burnouts that might increase. So what was that? That kind of because you kind of the dopamine, you dive in so much and you want to do more. So should responsible AI governance also include, let's say, a responsibility towards employees?
That's a very good question. Thank you. What I can say is that the regulators are also thinking about this and good, right?
Mhm.
If you look around the world, right, it's how do you treat your employees? What are the working hours? What are the conditions, right? And as Zendesk, who operates globally as well, we should be thinking about this. Now, that is not to say that working in a company that's transforming itself from a software as a service company to an AI company isn't hard and doesn't require work. And we're at that point in time.
Yeah.
But it is also, as humans, with AI is never going to replace the human empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I cannot, as a woman, as a mom, as an executive, I cannot, me personally, forget that empathy to employees. And I'd have to say that as a company, we're consistently thinking about, yes, how do we up-level the employees, but also how do we keep the employees at the forefront so that they can serve our customers. Yes, right? It is the customer support agents that are speaking to the customers. It's Pam and I sitting here with you today. That is not going to be replaced. And so we have to take care of our employees. And I don't, quite frankly, I don't think it should just be on the regulators. I think it is what we owe to the people who built it in the first place.
Yeah. And now just my last question is a bit the looking ahead. What do you think will be now the next major legal governance challenge in an AI-powered customer experience?
Oh,
well.
wow, that's a very good question. I want to think about this. I think one of the things we're all grappling right now is this sense of accountability and liability. And so where does the liability fall? And I think what we know is that accountability and liability usually falls within where there's the most human control,
Mhm.
right? Still today in an autonomous agent workspace, right? The human is still orchestrating that.
Yep.
And so the accountability, now what happens as that progresses?
Yep.
And so we're thinking about it. Judges are thinking about it. Lawyers are thinking about it. But the answer is never going to be in a document. The answer is never going to be what contract I negotiate with you. Because let's just say I said, yes, I'm fully liable, but I did something wrong and your brand is now tarnished.
Yeah.
What does that liability do? We have to be partners and want to do the right thing for the customer from the very beginning of a relationship. But I think this concept of more of where that liability falls is where we're going to see next from the legal point of view. From the governance point of view, I think what I'm excited by is that we are thinking critically, all of us, about the risk that our software has on humanity. What is the impact that one using our software can have, and the influence? What is how does it influence the outcome? Right? Again, I talked about earlier, customer success. It's not that impactful yet, not that influential yet on humanity.
Yeah.
Right? But it is something that we have to think about as the regulations change and where we stand there.
I do have actually another last question. What are you now most excited about? It's for both of you about then, from your perspective, the announcement now these coming 2 days of relate.
I mean, there's so many things. I think custom agents is our biggest announcement, like agent builder. You go from, you know, a co-pilot situation or a more simple agent to suddenly being able to orchestrate entire complex interactions that change systems and processes outside of Zendesk. I think that's really exciting, and it's really exciting as a lawyer to think through all the ways that we can mitigate risk. And there's so many really amazing controls that were built into these features that I think this is extremely reassuring to customers to be able to go out there and try these tools.
And for me, I'm most excited selfishly about the employee service announcements we have, because the legal department uses Zendesk. And so the more that we build for our customers is the more that they build for us. I'll give you an example, and this is just such a tactical example, but when I first got to Zendesk, we had employees who were filling out. So they'll send over these questionnaires, and it's like, who do they send it to? They send it to legal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we answering the question, what is the native name of the company? They can figure that out, or what is this? But now what we've seen is that customers are more sophisticated with their questions, frankly. And that their questions are about AI governance, their questions about privacy, their questions about our guardrails, our controls. Luckily, we have ISO 42001 and CSA star 1 and 2. But beyond that, when they're like, I don't want to read your certification, I still want you to answer these questions, we built a bot that answers all of the questions.
Yeah.
So that takes the work that someone was doing that was mundane and annoying, and they complained to me. It didn't matter what office I went to. I was like so excited to meet the employees. I thought they'd be talking about the regulations in Brazil and the regulation. They were like, we got to answer these questions. Now they don't complain about that to me anymore, because the services, and we are using Zendesk.
Yeah.
So I am most excited about what Vishnu and the team are building in employee service.
Thank you very much.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.